Hi guys. I lost my voice. I hope you can still hear me. Um, so I wanted to tell you this really amazing thing that happened. It's kind of a few things tied together. So perhaps you heard the video where I talked about how I got to manifest my relationship with my boyfriend, and I manifested getting to meet him. But what was really incredible was around the same time that I was doing my little sessions, the little tools that I was doing to manifest a relationship, I was also in the midst of sort of starting to do pre-production on this short film that I wrote. And my usual partner, my writing partner, was super busy with his day job, and he didn't have the time that he wanted to have to be able to help me. So I found myself also sort of having to wear producer hat and do a lot of things that I just didn't really know how to do. I had my DP, which was great, but he was also really busy. So I was sort of scrambling to keep up with everything that needed to be done and not really knowing, like I said, how to do it all. And so I remember one day I was like, universe, it would feel so amazing to have somebody who was really excited about the story, as excited as I am, but who knew more than I did and who would really help me. I had a lot of questions about how things worked, even like Kickstarter and stuff like that. And I just let myself feel the relief and the huge sense of gratitude of just having somebody on board of that caliber, somebody that had a lot of integrity and, like I said, was really excited about the project and who was really happy to be on board. And also, at the same time, I was really wanting to experience having new friends. I have incredibly beautiful friends. The few friends that I do have, they're almost like family. They're like forever friends. But for whatever reason, like right now, one of my closest friends just had a baby. So of course we're not able to see each other as much as we'd both like. Another friend who's been, one of my oldest friends lives an hour away. Another one is in San Francisco. So I have like a group of 5 friends or so that are just like the most stellar people in the world. But I just haven't been able to see them that much. And so I was saying, oh, it feels so great to manifest some friendships that are really conscious and people who are already doing what they want to be doing, who see life in a really compatible way where we share the same language and that I can learn from and just we can share with each other. And so at that time, it was about a month and a half later, my DP, so I was telling him I needed some help understanding how Kickstarter works. And he said, oh, well, you should talk to Ernesto. And I had met Ernesto just super briefly, like I think it was like a year and a half, almost 2 years prior, at this DP. He was also an artist, his art opening. And we sort of saw each other briefly and talked a little bit. But I wasn't ready for a relationship yet. I had just come out of another relationship, and I felt like I really wanted to take the time to sort of feel really whole again and make sure that I wasn't just jumping from relationship to relationship. So anyway, so I knew his name, but I didn't really know him that well. So he set up a meeting a month later, and we got together, and it was a really fun meeting. And I remember I didn't want the lunch to end. I wanted to, like, we should all go, like, just play around with the camera and shoot some stuff. They were just so great, and Ernesto's energy was so great and so present. And he was just finishing his documentary, this 10-year project about his brother who has Lou Gehrig's, and how, that journey has been for the whole family and this incredible love that the family has. It's a really amazing documentary. And so he was able to really give me a lot of helpful information, and I felt so relieved even just from that meeting. But so like 2 weeks later, we agreed that I would give him my short film script to read, and he would give me a link to his documentary, and we would give each other feedback. And so he suggested that we just get together to meet at this local restaurant and we share notes. So I wrote up my notes, and I was actually dreading the meeting. Sorry, so I was saying that I was really dreading the meeting with Ernesto because I had a page of notes about the documentary, but I didn't feel comfortable sharing them because it's such a sensitive subject matter, and I, obviously felt so much compassion and respect for the family, and I didn't know him that well. I didn't know if he would take these notes personally. I didn't know if his ego would get involved or if he would have hurt feelings. And I also knew that I had to be really honest, though, so I was kind of like, nervous about the meeting and how it would go. So actually, like right before I left my apartment, I said out loud, kind of just off the cuff, not even believing it really, just sort of saying like, oh, universe, it'd be so amazing as if we got together and ended up just having this great metaphysical, spiritual conversation. And then whatever notes I had, if somehow magically he had already made all those changes. And like I said, not believing it, it was super just like, oh, that would be amazing. And so I show up for the meeting, and right away we launch in effortlessly into this really metaphysical, engaging, spiritual conversation for like a long time. I think it was like for like an hour at least. And then comes the time where we're going to share notes, and I swear to God, he said, before you give me your notes, you should know that I've made a lot of changes. So let me just quickly tell you what those changes are. And it was like magic. He proceeded almost like in order to list every change, which was every change that I was going to recommend. I was so blown away on so many levels. I mean, of course, on the level of like, how did that just happen? That was magic, because it happens to me every time. Even now, manifesting, I still feel like it's amazing. That, and also I was just blown away by his own insight and his own lack of ego and his willingness to just serve the story and his own intelligence, that he had sort of just intuited all of these things on his own. And so that was really amazing. But the other amazing thing is that what I didn't know was that in the same moment that he and I got together, the universe was answering the fullness of everything that I had been asking for. He and I ended up becoming such fast friends, like best friends. We ended up spending like every Sunday together, and then it turned into like twice a week, like all day. Just this amazing adventure of friendship, which was really platonic. Well, it was really platonic for me. If you listen to the video where I introduce him, he says that he started having feelings a bit sooner than I did. But for both of us, it was just such a beautiful friendship. And so it answered that asking. I really got my best friend, and he is really conscious, and he was already doing what he wants to be doing in life. And I have learned so much from him, and we have shared so much together, and we laugh non-stop. And so I in one fell swoop, by the way, he also ended up like our second or third meeting. He's like, do you need a co-director? Because I'm acting in the short and also directing. And I was a little concerned about how I was going to handle that. And he said, I love the script and I would love to be a co-director. And so he came on board. And in that moment that he was telling me this, I felt the answer also again to those askings of like, wow, it'd be so amazing to have somebody on board who was really as excited about the story as I was, who really knew what he was doing, who had a lot of integrity and knew how everything worked, had a lot of experience. So he's kind of been producer on it as well, and just giving me amazing writing advice. And so, like I said, in one fell swoop, the universe handed me my best friend, the partner that I wanted on my film and my partner in life. Like the most amazing relationship that I could have asked for. So I just find it like endlessly amazing. Don't ever take your askings for granted. Know that you're being heard and that they're being answered, and just remain open. And you know, sometimes you're in the beginning of the story and you don't realize that all of these gifts and answers are just around the corner, literally. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye.